Did you know that SPF stands for sun protection factor, which basically means that when you choose a sunscreen, whether it be SPF 30 or SPF 50, that the 30 or 50 stands for amount of time you can be in the sun without getting burned, as opposed to not wearing any at all.
Thank you, Mason. To go further into this, I experimented to see which SPF was the superior SPF. And I came to the conclusion that it is SPF 30. Shall we take a look? In this experiment, I took different sunscreens with variations of SPF. This is my controlled test where I didn't use any sunscreen and the beads turned a dark shade of purple, which is expected. This was SPF 70. It was lighter than obviously the controlled test, but it still was a dark shade of purple. This was SPF 50, and as you can see, it did work a little, but the shades of purple are still alarmingly purple. And then finally, we have the results for SPF 30, which is all a very light shade of purple, which would be recommended compared to the other two. From these results, you can clearly see that SPF 30 would be the superior choice. The two pictures of the SPF 50 and 70 were both darker than the 30, which means that 30 overall protects better. The SPF is used to protect from harmful UV rays, and SPF 30 is the clear winner. Now we need to tie this in with actual textual and evidence, so let us have a look. Now, to get into our evidence, there is an article on the Business Insider that states that even experts say that SPFs higher than 50 aren't worth buying. This is because they only offer marginally better protection. When I say marginally, I mean marginally. It even goes only, the jump between 30 and 50 is only 1% higher of protection. And I can't even imagine 70. It also states that you should instead choose an SPF between 15 and 50. And I didn't test SPF 15, but we did test 50. And we can clearly see that SPF 30 offers better protection. To go further in depth about my experiment, what happened was I took pieces of toilet paper and sprayed on the sunscreen of different SPFs. And then we put them against the bag of beads. And we took a UV flashlight and shined it onto the toilet paper with the sunscreen. This gave us the results of which protected better and which did not. As we can see, SPF 30 did protect better. And let us explain what happened. The sunscreen absorbed the UV, so only some would go through. Okay, so the reason that the beads being lighter is so important is because the beads represent our skin, and the color of the beads represent the color. So the longer that the UV is on the skin, it gets darker, which could be redness. And the reason that the SPF 30 was lighter is because it absorbed better than the others. And that means that in the long run, SPF 30 can protect better against skin cancer and any other type of cancerous moles that it can cause, because we can inference that from it absorbing better. This is the end of my public service announcement on which SPF would be more beneficial for you. I hope after watching you consider getting SPF 30 instead of 50 or 70, and in the long run it'll help you better. I did the research so you wouldn't have to.